All right, Rick, more out of home questions for you. And this one's a biggie since this is the foundation of out of home. And this is a big one. Will static printed billboards go away?
That's been predicted for some time. I'm here to say no. In fact, I think the rise of digital is creating a corresponding rise of value for static and printed. First of all, it's a commitment in public space. When you print something and put it up for a few weeks, you're saying, "Hey, this is my position. This is what I have to say. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it." And there's value to that in front of the public. And I think the more we see digital and things like Chat GPT and temporary ephemeral messaging, the more we will value and appreciate something that's physical, tactile, and real in front of our face.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. And you see that in a lot of markets around the country for sure. You see right there, 15withrick.com. Get to that URL, and that gets you right to Rick's schedule. I've known Rick for a very long time. He's among the very best in the out-of-home world. Spend 15 minutes with him. You'll learn a ton. Seriously, in 15 minutes, I guarantee you, you will learn more about out-of-home than you could have imagined. So, Rick, thank you so much, and thank you to PJX Media for your support of Indie Agency News.
Thank you, man.
Before we get started, we got to show you this.
Ah, what a beautiful day to welcome you to your retirement with Physicians Mutual, including coverage for the gaps in Medicare.
Oh, I'm so happy I could just sing.
You've got that happy retirement feeling.
I've got that Physicians Mutual feeling. You helped me find the coverage I need.
So you can have the retirement you deserve.
I got a good feeling now that I'm covered.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Okay, that was fun. This is Indie Agency News, and let's meet an indie agency. Jake McKenzie, how are you today? CEO at Intermark Group down in Birmingham, Alabama. That's fun. That is fun. That is a tough category. And then you managed to get John Michael Higgins on board on that. Really fun work.
Thanks, Doug. I appreciate you having me. Yeah, we were blessed to work with an amazing client, Physicians Mutual. Bob Gunya, their head of brand marketing, really bought into the concept of disrupting the category, being more lighthearted, kind of breaking the cliches in the category, and it's really helped drive their business forward. So we are thrilled to be a part.
Yeah, and we forget that sometimes this is a fun business, and fun work's always good. So, obviously I've mentioned the name of the agency, where you are. When was the agency founded?
The agency was actually founded in Birmingham in 1977, but it wasn't until 2009 that I bought the agency after having worked there for a while, that we did a hard pivot into the behavioral sciences. And that's when we became the nation's largest behavioral science-driven or psychology-driven marketing firm.
Okay, well, that dovetails nicely into my next question. What is your agency best known for, and what would you say are the top 3 core strengths?
Yeah, so we're known for applied psychology. A lot of agencies give it lip service. We've taken it to a deep state where we employ a lot of PhD behavioral scientists. And so that leads us to what we're known for. It's kind of applying that. So it would be helping consumers or customers understand their target audience better, understanding how to affect those target audiences, and then manifesting that in creative solutions. Very heavy digital these days, but those would be the 3 basic things: understanding your audience, understandanding how to change them, and then applying.
Okay, got it. Now, I want to talk a little bit about independence here, because and I think the conversation tends to be somewhat similar. They're the similar kind of things of, we can move quicker, agility, things like that, which a lot of agencies say and live by, and it's great. It's a great thing. But let's talk about why you love being indie. Why is it important to be an indie? And I want to get 2 sides of the coin here. Number one, for your team, but also for the agency's clients.
I think the big reason is what you hear from a lot of independent agencies, that it's the financial side of things. We can invest in people and sometimes overinvest in people. That means, like, sometimes when we first started this, we were hiring PhDs even without a clear ROI for how they were going to manifest, and because it took a while before they actually began being billable, and people wanted to get that as a service, and so that you can build things that you know ought to be there, even though it doesn't have an immediate ROI.
Hmm.
And for our employees, it means that they can work on things that ought to be done, even if it's not directly billable. Because if you're doing right by your clients, long term things work out, and that's a motto we love to live by, and it helps us attract great talent.
That's true. What do you know, this is interesting to me is that um, this community, and it is, I mean, the independent agency community is that. Um, what do you learn from other indies, whether it's in Birmingham or outside of the market?
I sit on a couple of roundtables with other independent agencies. I gotta tell you, some of the best people in the world in the industry. Everybody is open to sharing, helping each other improve their business, find what works, what doesn't, share talent at times. And it helps us all lift this common boat to do better work, to get better outcomes, to provide a great place of employment for like minded people. So being part of that community has just been tremendous for me personally, and certainly for Intermark as a whole.
Yeah, no doubt. Um, let's get to this. What should brands know about working with you? Because I know that you've had Alabama Tourism for how many years?
7 years now.
Okay, great. Um, so what's the main reason a brand should work with you? What's one of
Yeah.
the main reasons? I mean, you touched on obviously the core strengths of the agency, but let's go a little bit deeper on the main reason that they should work with you.
So we're going to get better outcomes than probably what getting now. We track that as a success metric. Over 90% of our clients have exceeded their growth goals over the last 4 years. Um, and that 90% success rate is 9 times the national average when you ask that question. And we do it by helping you understand your customer better, and then by breaking cliches, doing things differently in the space. And that's been a formula for very repeated success across every vertical that we have worked in. And it's helped drive a lot of growth for the agency and provided a great place to work for some amazing talent.
What's your least favorite cliche? You said cliche. So what's your least favorite cliche?
Oh man, you could pick any industry and you can map the cliches of that industry. The one we've been talking
Okay.
about a lot recently is banks are all saying that they're the unbank or the new way to bank. In fact, we
Right.
identified at 1.300 different banks that a variation of those terms. And so it's like when everybody's saying the same thing, it's a meaningless statement. And every industry has those cliches. And
Right.
it's when you have a cliche, the brain doesn't even process it. It filters it out because it understands what you're going to say, which is the first step towards changing behavior, is being heard, if you will. And if
Right.
you're being filtered out, then you're not being heard. So map the cliches and break them.
New way to bank. It's a new way to bank. There you go.
That's right. Yeah.
uh, what have you now, we talk about, working with brands and et cetera. Now, what have you learned from the brands that you've worked with over time? Because as an agency, obviously, the goal is to solve a client's business problem, to help them grow, all of that. But what are some of the things that you've learned from brands over the years that have been beneficial to you personally?
I think, and Doug, you probably heard this a lot, is to go into every engagement with a sense of humility. Like, while we bring a lot of expertise to the table, every industry has its own level of nuance that you're just not going to get right out of the gate. That you've truly got to partner with clients because they bring subject matter expertise that is critical. And so you have to have a strong partnership across the agency and the client relationship to get good outcomes. If one side or the other isn't listening, isn't really being open, isn't moving the boat forward, it's hard to get good outcomes.
Hmm.
And sometimes that's hard because if you're successful in the agency business, you believe you've got all the answers, and being willing to set your ego aside and truly listen can be challenging for some agency folks.
Right. No, I get it. Let's talk about talent. Why should talent put your agency on their list?
I think top is that we're striving to do amazing work. And that means that we empower great talent, and then we reward great talent. And we reward people not just financially, but also in a great way of living. We give people a lot of flexibility, a lot of autonomy. And we're not trying to work them to death. I want to make sure that our employees watch their kids grow up and go to soccer games and things like that. So I believe in a great work-life balance for me, and I want everybody that works with me to achieve the same thing. You can do both. You can do amazing work and still enjoy life.
Yeah, no, that's very, very true. And Birmingham's very popular right now. Lot of folks moving in.
Yeah, Birmingham is quite hot. State of Alabama's done well, and we've got offices in some other great cities around the country: Atlanta, Fort Lauderdale, and opening one in Denver. And I think Birmingham will continue to do well. It's attracting a lot of bigger, growing, particularly high-tech companies. The Southeast is booming. And so the future looks bright, Doug. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap up. Which CMO or marketer do you want to say hello to? Now we've had varying flavors of this so far. Some have been, saying we've worked in this category before. We'd love to work in this category again. Some people have said specific CMOs that they would love to work with, or marketers that they would love to work with. So who do you want to wave to?
A recent client, Lee Mercado, who works in the biotech industry for a company called Insulet. And it was interesting because she didn't know much about us other than that we brought some psychological insights to the table, rapidly embraced that, and it's been a tremendous partnership. So I just want to say thanks for what was one of those chance encounters.
Okay, you're going the route of a current client. Okay, yeah.
So big fan of our current clients, and I think we are going to reward them with some insights so they can move to drive their business forward.
Love it, love it. Jake, well, thank you so much for joining us, and continued best wishes for outstanding success in Birmingham, in Atlanta, in Fort Fun. Do they still call it Fort Fun, Fort Lauderdale? That must be an 80s
I'm sure the
reference.
locals do. Yeah.
Right. And then coming to Denver soon. Jake McKenzie, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Doug. I'm flattered to be here.